Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our Swadhyay online reading retreat. Last presents Power of SAP, the Gateway to Spirituality series. In this, we continue with the Gita Daily series. And in the last session, we have completed the verse number 67 of chapter number 2. Today, we are going to start with the chapter number 2, verse number 69. Chapter 2, verse number 69. Translation and purport. Translation. What is the night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for all the introspective sage. Purport. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for self-gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic man. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed. In a sleeping condition, the introspective man is always indifferent to the materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions. Now we will go to the Gita for Daily Enrichment series 2.69. Is a social mirror making a fool out of us? The social mirror refers to society's opinion that lets us know how we look in its eyes. This mirror often perverts the reality, especially in the materialistic cultures like ours. And egregious, so here the meaning of is outstandingly bad. Egregious means. An example of perversion by the social mirror is the Torches of Freedom campaign used to induce women to smoke, started in the 1920s and continuing till date. This campaign exploits the sentiments of the women's liberation movement to market custom-made female figures as touches of freedom. Using many popular female icons, the media propaganda propelled thousands of women into smoking. It was all done in the name of freedom, but practically no one asked how smoking the cigarette was going to bring freedom. Pressurized by his campaign, many women smoked just so that they wouldn't look old-fashioned. Such is the deluding power of the social mirror. Most media propaganda may not be so blatant, but it is just insidious. So blatant means bad behavior done openly, right? So what mark is that? Pink. It's just insidious. So basically proceeding on a gradual, subtle way, but with very harmful effects. It glamorizes the trendiest gadgets, devices, and cars. This impels many people to go on purchasing sprees that are generally unnecessary and frequently unaffordable. The purchase and parade the latest wares. The latest wares of the fashion circus in the hope of seeing an approving reflection of themselves in the social mirror. But the social mirror is mortifyingly unstable. It shows a thing as shiny today and as rusty tomorrow. Thus, the social mirror ends fleecing people of their hard-earned money. So here, fleecing is something different meaning. Yeah, great deal of money, typically by overcharging, similar to that. Hard-earned money and making a fool out of them. The Bhagavad Gita 2.69 indicates that the spiritualists perceive and value things differently from their materialists. Instead of the social mirror, they use a scriptural mirror. This time, honored mirror shows them their real identity of as souls with the potential for lasting the devotional self-happiness. By using the scriptural mirror, they change themselves in ways that are not fleetingly titillating, but eternally fulfilling. So now again, we will read the translation of this verse. 2.69. What is night for all beings is the night is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sages. right? So with this, we have completed this particular verse with marked as a green, but there are a couple of words today we have learned for the first time. Maybe it may not be the same thing for you, but let's continue with that. Word of the day. Egregious. Blatant, insidious. Period we might be knowing, but it's in a different context it has been used here. The next one is blessing. Okay. So with this, now we have completed today's verse. In the next sessions, we will be learning new one, that is from verse number 2. The new verse is 2.69. We will be learning from there. So it will be continuing with that, but there is a different theme altogether. Might be hitting the 2.69 and up to the verse number here as well. We will continue with that. So here it will be here only. Let's say 2.69. We have two verses here. 2.69, 2.69. Then we have 3.39. So in the next verse, we will continue with the 2.69, but in 2.69, it has a different topic. The topic is, might we be hitting? So we don't have any one. Hitting the bull size. So this is the next same verse, but it's a different context. We will learning in the next session, right? So with this, we have completed today's session. So looking forward and request you to go through the translation and the purport of this particular verse, right? And there is a very good analogy, social mirror and scriptural mirror. That is one of the key striking point for today's sessions. So we will again continue with the next session, the same verse, but it's a different context. Till then, Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Siddha Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.